It's Tina and I am back, and I wanted to wish you guys a happy new year for 2017. Hopefully you guys had a safe and enjoyable celebration, even if you stayed at home with friends and family, or even if you just stayed at home with your dog. Who cares? As long as you guys are safe and healthy and happy, that's all I'm wishing for you guys this year, and I'm wishing you lots of prosperity. But I wanted to kick off the year with a collection video because, like I mentioned before, I wanted to start doing mini collection videos because I don't want to do an overall full collection video until I reach a milestone. And hopefully we can reach that milestone sometime in the near future. But I wanted to start off my brand collection series with the very first brand that I purchased, the very first brand that I started wearing, and that is MAC. I think most of us, especially if you started collecting makeup a few years ago, have a pretty significant MAC collection because MAC was the ish back in the day, right? It was a thing, and I loved collecting MAC. So I'm gonna walk you through my MAC collection. We're gonna get nostalgic for a little bit, and it's gonna be a long video because I have a lot to share with you, and I'm probably gonna get very long-winded when I share some of the fun products that I have from MAC. So if you want to see my MAC collection, then stay tuned, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you can see future brand collection videos from me. So it's gonna be mini collections. I'm gonna put them in a playlist, so as we add to them, you can just go to that playlist and check them out. But without much further ado, let's go ahead and jump into my MAC collection. So in an effort to make this video less than an hour long but still have swatches and up close shots of the products, I'm gonna split the video into two. So the first video is going to cover my eye products, so my eyeshadows, my eyeliners, my paint pots, my fluid lines, various eye products that I have in my collection. And then the second video will cover all the face products, so we'll go into blushes, highlighters, bronzers, foundations, different face type products. So right now let's go ahead and jump into my eye product collection. So let's go ahead and start this off with the products that started it all for me, and those are my MAC pigments. And I started off collecting MAC pigments. Out of all makeup products, these were the ones that I was the most drawn to, and I tried to collect all the ones in the permanent collection as well as picking up all the ones from the limited edition collection. So I have the original jars here laid out as well as the newer style jars, and I think everyone was upset when they switched from the original jars to the newer styles because the older style jars of course held a lot more product, plus they were just cute and easy to store. The newer style jars have more of a domed style lid, so it's a little bit harder to have them stand up on their own. But I have all my pigments organized by shades. So we have the lighter, vanilla, white shades on one side. I have the metallics, my tan shades, my pinks, my roses, all the way up to my blues. And I am so in love with my MAC pigment, guys. And this has to be my favorite drawer in my entire collection. Now I want to be a little bit nostalgic and show you some of my favorite shades. This one is MAC Chartreuse. This is a beautiful sour lemon shade, and it is so beautiful. It is one of the first shades that I picked up, and I used it so much. It's a matte sour lemon shade. Then we have the shades Clear Sky Blue. Do you guys remember this shade? It's a light sky blue shade, again a matte finish, and I think MAC did the best matte finish pigments. I'm just so sad that they're doing more shimmer shades these days. One of my favorite shades to use was Polished Ivory, and this one was more of a loose pigment form of Blanc type. It has this yellow tone to it. I really love this shade. I gotta get back into using my MAC pigments. Then here's a really popular one that I think everybody remembers. This is Pink Opal. A lot of people started using this as a highlight on the face as well as the inner tear duct because it's a shimmery white shade with a pink duochrome. And then of course everybody knows the shade Vanilla. Vanilla is a shimmery white as well, but this one has more of a golden undertone than Pink Opal. This was also used as a highlight a lot. Then of course the shade Melon. Melon was a super popular shade as well. This is a beautiful peachy gold shade. This works as a beautiful highlight on darker skin. And who remembers Cool Pink, which was one of my favorite shades? This one is a matte Pepto-Bismol pink. And I have the original teal pigment. People went crazy because this one was changed and the color has never been the same. It was a rich, beautiful teal green shade. So gorgeous. Everybody loved this color. And then of course I have some limited edition ones that are really fun to collect. These were from the Archie's Girls collection. Beautiful light pink and light teal. The shades are Cheers My Dear and Lucky in Love. And these are the Veronica pigments, which is Magic Spells and Black Poodle, which are just blackened shades. And then of course here are some of the metallic ones that I have. So this one is Copper, Gold, Rose Gold, Platinum, and Silver. I don't know if you guys remember when MAC did their Crush pigment stacks. So they had them in these screw top jars. And there were 4 of them. This one is stacked 2. And these are just crushed metal pigments, again, and you have to press them to break up the little spheres or the little clumps, and it gives you a really metallic look. This one is from the Surf collection. This is Surf's the Ocean. I think this one was one of the most popular ones. It was a beautiful crushed yellow gold. So gorgeous. I also have some of their little pigments that they do during the holidays, these gift sets. I really don't like them because they're kind of a bother to use because the jars are so small. But I just have 1 set of those. And then I also have some of the more recent magnetic pressed pigments. These are the Spellbinder shadows. Now the thing is, these are completely black jars, so you can't see the color in here. But I did a haul on these and I did swatches. This one is just so beautiful. This one is the shade Cosmic Clash. And again, these are magnetized, so they will stay in that pressed form in the pans. But these are beautiful as well. A lot less pigment in here, but still fun shades. The other pigments that you see are from Makeup Forever. So I have their Star Powder, some of their pure pigments, and also my Sugar Pill pigments, but those aren't included in this collection. Moving on to the next drawer, I have all my single MAC eyeshadows, and I've separated them so I know which ones are from the permanent collection versus the limited edition shades. So I have all the permanent collection shades in these little trays that I picked up from the Container Store, and I just separate them by shades. So you just have all of them here, and I do like to keep them in the pot. I don't like to depot my eyeshadows. If I'm going to depot them, I might as well buy them in the Pro pans. So I have all my Pro single shades here in these trays. Again, I got these from the Container Store, and these are all the permanent shades. I also have the Pro pan form, and I have them color coordinated in Z palettes, and these are what I meant by the Pro pan forms. Instead of depotting, then I'll just grab the Pro pans. These are all the green and blue shades. I have my purple shades and burgundy tones and plums, along with my blacks and silvers. I did a full swatch of all these shades, so I will link those down below in case you're interested. These are light neutrals and beiges. And then I have warm tones, oranges, some pinks, and my yellows. Now, of course, the fun part of the collection would be the limited edition shades. You might recognize some of the limited edition packaging. I absolutely loved when MAC did this collection. I forget what it was. It was a summer collection and they did this all white packaging. I absolutely love this packaging. It was so different for MAC that always does all black. This one is the shade Saffron. Beautiful matte shade. Here we have the shade Surf USA. I think this might have been the Surf USA collection because I remember that being a thing. So this was the namesake of the collection. This one is the shade Sun Blonde. Really fun shades. Then they also did a collection with chartreuse packaging. I forget which collection this one was from, but it had the seashell on the front of the packaging, and they ended up re-promoting some of their permanent shades. So for instance, this is Shimmer Moss, and then of course this is Humid. They also did a Venomous Villains collection with Disney, and they did the villains from the Disney movies. So this one is DeVille for Cruella DeVille. This is Vainglorious, which is for the evil queen from Snow White. Here's a bright orange shade. I forget which collection this was from too. This is the shade Evening Aura, which was a beautiful shimmery shade. Then one of the most famous shades from MAC was this one, the shade Parrot. It was a beautiful shade, but I also think that the shade Big T was much prettier. And of course the shade Cool Heat. Another collection that was really popular was the Star Flash collection, and I don't know if many people are aware of this different eyeshadow finish that MAC had back in the day. The Star Flash finish, oh my god, people went crazy over these eyeshadows. Everybody loved the Star Flash finish. This is Glamour Check. And they did a full collection of all the Star Flash shadows. They were just beautiful shimmery shades. They were silky, shimmery, frosty, really smooth, really pigmented. This is rated R. Like, look at that. People went nuts. This one is Smoke and Diamonds. I think people love this one because it's kind of a, oh god, look at that. It's a taupey silver shade. So gorgeous, so smooth. And then this one is Go, just a brown bronze shade. Beautiful, beautiful. I love this finish from MAC. So those are all the single eyeshadows that I have from MAC in the smaller pans. Now we'll go ahead and grab my other small single eyeshadow pots from MAC. These eyeshadows were a special edition. They have a different formulation, or they have different packaging from the typical single MAC eyeshadows. Now the first ones we'll look at are the Extra Dimension eyeshadows. These debuted again with the Extra Dimension skin finishes, and this is a baked formula, so it's very lightweight, very airy. This one is the shade A Natural Flirt. Again, these are Extra Dimension eyeshadows. Very silky, very smooth. They have a baked texture. A few of these also came out with a limited edition summer collection that had that bubble texture on the packaging. This was so pretty. I'm so glad I was able to grab all of these, and I was actually sent a couple of these from a subscriber, so thank you again for sending me the one that I was missing. This one is Legendary Lure. And again, they're a baked formula, so they're very lightweight, very shimmery, very beautiful. This one is Grand Galaxy. This is a purple type shade. Look how shimmery and beautiful these are. I wish MAC would release these as a permanent eyeshadow finish. This one is Lunar, which is a blue shade. So gorgeous. This is Stylishly Merry. And then this one is Smoky Mauve. I think by now you get the idea of just how gorgeous these are. Here we have another limited edition formula, another one that I think MAC definitely needs to re-release. They did this, I believe, a year ago for a holiday. Just look at this packaging. It is so reflective, metallic, and beautiful. These are the color-drenched pigments. This one is Moon is Blue, and you have to see the duochrome finish to that. It has like a little purple shimmer, and it's so rich and gorgeous. This one is Tonight's the Night, which is a blackened teal shade. Oh, so pretty. Now here are the other two. This one is Night Thrill, and this one is Ascent of Glamour. These are just really gorgeous shades. The only one that I had trouble with was the Night Thrill shade, but so pretty. Now the rest of these shades are all the Dazzleshadows. I think they made these permanent now, so they should be available, or they made some of the shades permanent. I did a full swatch of these eyeshadows as well. So this one is Slow Fast Slow. And these are all like pressed glitter eyeshadows. This one is Get Physical. These are similar to the Urban Decay Moondust shadows. This one is Get Physical. This one is Like to Watch. This one is Let's Roll. And then this one is Boom Boom Room. It's just a really gorgeous hybrid of a pressed eyeshadow and pressed glitter. So that's a look at the rest of my small eyeshadow pots. Now let's bring in some of the other single eyeshadows I have from MAC that are stored in my acrylic containers. So these are my large size pan eyeshadows from MAC and some of their special edition formulas that they released in these larger pan forms. So we have the Pro Longwear eyeshadows here. Like this one is the shade Hot Paprika. A beautiful orangey tone. Here we have One to Watch, which is a nude shade. And again, these are their Pro Longwear eyeshadows. And then one of the limited edition formulas that they released were the Mega Metal eyeshadows. I love these so much. This is the shade Dalliance, which was one of the most famous shades or the best shades from the collection. It's a shimmery kind of oyster shade. Look how beautiful this is. These shades were so shimmery, so smooth, so buttery. They're kind of reminiscent of the Star Flash shades. This one is Prance, which is still a shimmery kind of oyster shade, but it has more of a pinky undertone. I mean, look at that sheen and shine. This blue one is Dandizette. Another beautiful shade. And I have to show this one. This is Spectacle of Yourself, which is this beautiful, warm, orangey, coppery brown shade that I think everyone would go crazy about now. Like, look at that. That is so beautiful. Then, of course, we had the Extra Dimension eyeshadows. This one is Warm Thunder, and it's kind of a warm silver shade. Oh my god, I have to show you guys this one. This is Paparazzi, which was a funny name, but it was one of the most beautiful shades from the Mega Metals. Oh my god, look at this. Oh my god. I also have my pressed pigments. I did a full swatch and review of all of these. These are pressed glittery eyeshadows. This is kind of before the Dazzleshadow era. These were the shimmery eyeshadows that they had, and these were really beautiful. I loved these as well. Again, a shimmery topper shadow, or you could use them on their own. I really love these shades, and they may still do these. I'm not too sure if the Dazzleshadows replace these. They also did these cream eyeshadows back in the day. These were the Metal X eyeshadows, and I think these are pretty dried out, but I kept them anyway. Yeah, they're pretty dried out, but these were Metal X, which was a cream formula, and I don't know, these were very creasy on me, so I never really used them, but they were still very beautiful. It's just they crease, so not many people fell in love with this formula. And then, of course, I have like some limited edition stuff. Like this is from one of their collections. It had a little print on it. Like this is the back pocket of your jeans, you know, where you have that little loop and the button. Yeah. And then I think this one was from the Tartan Tail collection, so it had a plaid print. But yeah, these are the large single eyeshadows that I have. I do have another drawer for those. These ones are the baked mineral eyeshadows. Like these trios that they released years ago. This one is Love to Love, which is a trio of bronzy neutral shades. This one is Fresh and Easy, which is a pink, a light blue, and like a bronzy shade, a bronzy rose shade. This one is Soften the Mood, which is a light blue, a light silvery taupe, and then a brown. And then you have the Mineralized Skin Finish Duos. This one is Fresh Green Mix. So it had a marbleized side and then a solid side. This one was a popular one. It's Sea and Sky. People love this one, and it's really beautiful. Like, look at this blue. Oh my god. And then the marble side gives you more of a light blue. Beautiful, right? And then they re-released a collection of their mineralized eyeshadows that were more shimmery in finish. This one is Young Punk. Like, everybody went nuts over these. These have like a black base with glitter to it. So again, this is Young Punk, so it has that purple glitter. This one is Guilt by Association, and I did a full swatch video of these as well back in the day. So this one is a black with a yellow, gold, and bronzy base. This one is Smutty Green, which is a blackened green. How stunning are these? I need to use these somewhere. Oh my god. And they're powder eyeshadows, so they don't go bad that quickly. And as long as they don't smell or irritate your eyes, they're fine to use. They also did these shimmery split ones for holiday one year, where they have a really beautiful shimmer shade and then a chunky, more glittery shade. These ones were kind of a flop as well, because that chunky shade was really awful and really hard to work with. The texture of the chunky shade was just awful. But the shimmer shade was really beautiful. Like, look at that one. Oh my god, I can't forget the Venomous Villains one. This one is My Dark Magic. Oh, look at this. This one was a duo, so it had a purpley side and more of a burgundy side. Not really that different, right? But look at those shades. Oh my god. And this one is She Who Dares, which was the green and blue one. Everybody went nuts over these. I remember I was in line that the morning these released in store to grab these. Oh my god. So pretty. And then this one was strictly for collection purposes. This was a different finish as well. It's the Pearl Matte Eyeshadows, and they were meant to be like a shimmery matte shade. I never touched this and will never touch it. Do you see? Oh, it's so pretty. Oh my god. But that one I strictly got for collection. And that's it for the eyeshadows. I almost forgot to include these larger eyeshadows from my collection. They were in a separate drawer with other eyeshadows, but these are my foiled eyeshadows from MAC. These debuted with the Fairy Whispers collection, and they're beautiful shimmery eyeshadows. I love this formula. This is one of my favorite formulas of the year from 2016. This shade is Fairyland. You have Joy Toy, which is probably my favorite shade from the entire collection. I did go ahead and collect all 8 shades because these are so smooth, so creamy. They apply beautifully. They're not overly frosty or glittery, so anyone can wear these, even if you have like textured eyelids. They just give this beautiful sheen to the lids without being chunky, and I just love them. They're really smooth, and they're one of my favorite formulas from MAC. And again, I have all 8 of the shades, and I did do a swatch video for these as well. I also have these 2 pressed pigments from the Star Wars collection. The Star Wars collection. So they released 2 pressed pigments. Again, these are just like the other pressed pigments. They're glittery shades. But this one is more of a neutral shade. This one is To Boldly Go. And then the other one they did was Birds of Prey, which is a blackened green shade. This one doesn't have as much glitter in it. It's almost like the Fairy Whispers these foiled eyeshadows. The texture comes off like just a shiny pigment. These are so pretty. I absolutely love these, so I didn't want to exclude them at all and forget about them. So these are the foiled eyeshadows again. Moving on, I'll show you my MAC Paint Pot collection. And I was a collector of the paint pots, and most of these are so dried out right now, and I don't use them at all. But look how pretty they are. Like, this is primary yellow. Oh, this is so pretty. I wonder if they're really, really dried out. Yeah, they definitely are dried out. I literally keep these for collection purposes because just look at it. Isn't that beautiful to look at? You have High Def Cyan, which is the blue that went along with the pigment. So gorgeous. You have Genuine Orange. These are their chroma lines, which released years ago. But oh, look at them. And then of course you have the regular paint pots. I have Painterly, which I never use, which everybody uses, but this just doesn't suit me. I used to use it, like I have a little dent, but just not my shade. Then you have the different shades in here. Indian Wood was a great one. And some of these are probably still a little bit usable, like Indian Wood, look at this. This is still very usable. It's very creamy. So these are some of their original shades, like Quite Natural, which is a deep brown. You have Constructivist, which is more of a bronzy shade. And then you have some of the ones that were released as limited edition, like the shade Taylor Gray. They released a full collection of these shades, and Taylor Gray was a beautiful one. Again, still creamy because I don't open them and use them, so they still remain pretty moist in the container. Then this one is Genuine Treasure. This was a shimmery one. Let's see if this one is still relatively creamy. I mean, I guess. But this was more of a sheer one anyway. It was a shimmery base. So yeah, this is the MAC Paint Pot collection. Some of them are still very usable. I wouldn't use them necessarily. I might actually try, like, who's gonna stop me? As long as my eyes don't fall out, then I should be fine. Keeping with paint pot type products, here are my fluid lines. Well, not all of these. They're in a drawer with other cream products, but these are my MAC fluid lines. And I keep them tightly sealed again so they don't necessarily dry out so quickly. But I have various different shades. Like this one is Ivy, which is just a beautiful deep green shade. This one is Midnight Blues, which was just a, oh, this one was gorgeous. It's like a deep teal shade. A blue teal. How gorgeous is that? Now these I never technically got to use as liners. I use them more as cream bases. This one is Blue Peep. This one is a gorgeous one. I think this is still available. This one is Dark Diversion. I don't have a ton of the fluid lines because, like I said, I don't really use them that much. So this is just my little collection right here. And in this drawer, I have my Makeup Forever shades, my Inglot shades, some from Shiseido, and then my Tarte gel liners. I also have these two studio eye glosses from MAC. Now these are very specific products, like they're very shimmery, very tacky, very glossy. You wouldn't wear these everywhere. Like they're sticky and goopy, and it's just meant for like a fun editorial look, but nothing that you could really wear out because they would crease so badly, so easily. But they're just glossy top coats. I don't know who would use this apart from a makeup artist on like an editorial shoot. And that's it for the gel liners. Now how about some glitters? These are my MAC glitters. Again, I have them in a drawer with other glitters. These are from Makeup Forever, Magnolia Makeup, and some other like random glitter. But these are my MAC glitters. So I have the ones in the original jars, like the Pigments. This one is Reflex Blackened Red. We have Crystallized Orange. This is Crystallized Yellow. This is Crystallized Purple. This is Blue. Crystallized Lime. Light Blue. And then I have all my 3D glitters as well. This is 3D Silver. This is 3D Pink. This is 3D Lavender. Here is 3D Gold. 3D Black. Then we have like the transparent shades. This is Reflex Pearl. So you won't necessarily see a difference between this and say Reflex Transparent Pink. Or this one, which is Reflex Gold. You'll only see it once you apply it to the eyelids or to the skin. So these are all my MAC glitter shades. Now here's an assortment of the other eye products that I have from MAC, starting with some of their quads. These are the Mineralized eyeshadow quads. This is another collection from yesteryear, and they're just mineralized eyeshadows in quads. Now these weren't very impressive. I didn't use these a lot. If you like mineralized eyeshadows, meaning you like a very sheer, soft wash of color, then these may have been really good for you, but I just never found myself using them a lot. This one is the Harvest of Greens quad. This one is a Melody of Mauves, which are just berry tones. Again, these are not my favorite, but they're not bad eyeshadows. They're really beautiful. I just never found myself reaching for them. This is a Waft of Gray, which are just smoky gray tone silver shades and a black. And then this one is a Glimmer of Gold, which is just a collection of like golden shades that you can wear in a neutral look. Then we have these 9 eyeshadow palettes. These were actually so much smaller than I expected. There are 9 eyeshadows in these, but they're in the size of the regular quads from MAC, and they're really tiny pans, about the size of a dime, but they contain like a theme of shades. So you have this one, which is amber times 9, and it's just a bunch of amber shades. Some of the shades are permanent, so if you were looking to just collect some single eyeshadows that you can travel with, this is a set of neutral tones. This one is the purple times 9, which is just a collection of purpley tones. Again, some are permanent and some are limited edition to this palette. And then this one is navy times 9. And this is more cool tone, gray tone shades. It's not really a navy or blue palette as you would expect. It's more gray tone shades. And then here are my eyeshadow quads from MAC. I don't really collect the eyeshadow quads. I'm just never drawn to them. But there were some that I just picked up because they intrigued me. Either a color intrigued me or I just fell in love with the quad altogether. This first one is my mostly used one. This is the Leopard Luxe palette. This was from the Leopard Luxe collection. And I love this Wild by Nature shade. I wish they would release it as a single. It's like a perfect blend-in crease shade for me. So I love this. I don't use the other shades, as you can tell, but that shade, favorite blend-in shade. Then this one is the Color Added palette. I don't know what I was doing with this palette. It wasn't even that interesting. I mean, I like that shade, and then I guess the yellow shade. The yellow shade, look at that pigmentation for a yellow though. Hey! Oh, that's nice. Might need to reach for you, sir. Then here we have a MAC Limited Collection palette with Pedro Lorenco, I'm gonna go with. And it's just a neutral palette. I was figuring that this neutral shade could replace my Wild by Nature, so that's why I got it, because of this neutral shade. And it's actually a really good shade for my crease. My hand is a little bit damp, but that would make a great crease shade. And then this one here, I think this is a customized quad that I did myself, and I think the 2 bottom shades are cream colors. Yes, this one is either deep orange, it's a corrector shade. This, I don't know what shade that is, but this green though, look at that green. What shade is that? Oh, that is Makeup Geek eyeshadow actually. It's Fiji. Wow, Makeup Geek, hey. So Makeup Geek and MAC all together in one quad. Moving on, let's see what this quad is. It is just Color 4 eyeshadow. It doesn't actually have a name to it. This again just has neutral shades in it. Again, I don't really use these quads, so I don't know why I picked them up. Okay, that is probably why. Look at that. Oh, that is so pretty. What shade is that? I have no idea what this quad is, but I think that shade may be Aztec Brick. So pretty. And then this one is the Call Me Bubbles quad. And I picked this up for this shade right here, which is called Brash. Now this came out in another collection and I missed out on that shade, so I had to get it. Obviously, like obvs, look at that shade. Obviously I had to get that. I'm gonna use that in a look because that is to die for. And then the rest of these shades are pretty straightforward. These are just single eye products that are in my everyday drawer. So we have my Lane Low paint pot that I use for my base. We have Groundwork, which is also a paint pot, but it's a deeper brown shade. We have Dip Down Fluid Line, which is a rich dark brown gel liner. We have Deep Dark Brunette Fluid Line Brow Gel Cream. So this is like gel pomade for the brows, which I love. And then we have Always Sunny Pro Longwear eyeshadow. This is a great blend-in shade for my skin tone. We have my MAC Prep and Prime 24-Hour Extend Eye Base, which I absolutely love for eyeshadow primer. Then we have my mascara. This is the Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. I haven't been using any other mascaras from MAC. I do love the Plush Lash Mascara, but I haven't invested in that just because I love my Too Faced Better Than Sex. And then we have some brow products here. We have the brow set from MAC. This shade is actually Show Off, which is a shimmery bronzy shade. I don't know why I really kept this one, but just in case I want my brows to be all shimmery or something. And then this is my favorite brow set. This is the Pro Longwear Waterproof Brow Set in the shade Brown Ebony. This is the perfect shade for my brows. And I also have a brow finisher clear. This is just a pencil wax product. So it's easier to apply to your brows than say a wax that's in a pot or in a palette. So you just put that on your brows and you can go in with your powder products. And then last but not least, for the eyes, I have my shade sticks and grease paint sticks and my eyeliners from MAC. So I did a big declutter and got rid of a ton of my shade sticks, but these are the ones I have remaining. We have Lucky Jade, we have Zinc Zone, which is a grease paint stick, we have Red Velvet, which is a shade stick. I don't know if MAC still does shade sticks, do they? Because these were like the thing, like Beijing was the thing to have. Beijing was a great shade for a base, and we use these as eyeshadow bases, and these are still creamy, so that's why they're still in my collection. I mean, I'm sure they're expired, but who are you to tell me to get rid of my products? Like, you are not the boss of me. These are still creamy, and so I kept them. And then we have my eyeliners. So a lot of these are the chromographic pencils. So the chromographic pencils are a pro type product, and they're just very colorful primary shades. We have High Def Cyan, which is my most used one. This is Genuine Orange. We have Processed Magenta, Primary Yellow. So again, primary shades. Landscape Green is also one of my favorites. It's just a bold grass green. And then we have different eyeliners that I picked up from MAC. I don't really invest a lot in MAC eyeliners just because, I don't know, I don't use them as much as other eyeliners. I don't even use eyeliners that much anymore, especially colored ones, but I have these that are really nice from MAC. They're chromographic pencils in the skin tone shades, like this is NW25 NC30. These are really great nude eyeliners if you were ever checking for some. This one is NC15 NW20. So if you're looking for a nice nude eyeliner, check these out. Their Pearl Glide liners are probably the ones that I really love the most. These have shimmer in them. Really beautiful liners, and I just keep them in my little pull-out bins against my wall. And those are all the eye products in my MAC collection. Now the second video will be all the face products. So if you're thinking blushes, highlighters, bronzers, foundations, all those products I'll include in a second video along with my MAC brush collection, which is pretty extensive. Probably won't include all the brushes, just singles of each of the ones that I have. And once that video goes live, I'll go ahead and link it down below in the description box. But that's a roundup of all my MAC eye products. Alright guys, now was that fun or what? I had so much fun going down memory lane and rediscovering some of my products from old collections, from limited edition collections, some really great products that I wish MAC kept permanent or would re-release. They were so amazing, and there were some formulas that you guys probably aren't familiar with, like Star Flash, remember that? Yes. And the Mega Metals, yes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Again, make sure you subscribe so you can see future videos. I will also link my Instagram and Twitter page down below where you can check me out and follow me along. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'm wishing you a very prosperous 2017. Bye guys.